All right, here we go. The Tremors franchise continues with the Tremors television series. Hal Grimir, you paid for the franchise. You get in the franchise. I watched all 13 episodes, so let's do this. 13 freaking episodes. Let's see if I can do it all in a row. Good thing I wore a superhero shirt because I'm going to need some damn superhero abilities to be able to get through this. With stamina being one of those things, and that's what Batman's good for because he don't got no superpowers. All right, so very impressed with the continuity here. Very, very impressed with how 1 and 2 and 3 are all mentioned, and everything that's in this pertains to those stories, and it screws up nothing. The only real continuity flaw I found was that perfection was established in 1902, and in part 6, it was established in 1901, and in Tremors 4 it was 1889 when the story takes place, and then they changed the name of perfection, or rejection, to perfection. And I can't imagine they waited 12 years, but for some reason the established sign and whatnot changes, and when it was established seems to change. So that's one of the only continuity errors I've found. But outside of that, a lot of very concurrent things, man. I was really surprised by that. So good for them. We get some new members to the team here, and we get a lot of old as well. We get Burt Gummer, obviously, reprising his role as Michael Gross there. We also get Jodie, the same actress who plays her in part 3. We get Melvin Plug, the same actor who's played him in 1, 3, and this. And I think those are all the return actors. And then the return characters, we have Nancy, and she's been recast by the woman from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Diane Selinsky, and then her daughter Mindy, who's also been recast. And we've got Dean Norris added here, and he plays the government official that watches over El Blanco, makes sure that everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing, since they're living in perfection. Why anyone would live there? These guys are they're not leaving. This is their home, and they feel like they have it figured out. And Tyler comes to town. This is the new Kevin Bacon replacement, I suppose. And he runs a tour, like a Jeep tour. And him and Bert become monster hunters together, because this story does not just stick to the one Tremor that is around, because that wouldn't be all that fun, would it? There's all sorts of different stuff. This turns into the X-Files at one point for a few episodes. You got like an opening with possible UFO, which I don't even know if that was explained, why there was a light in the sky. I don't think it was, now that I'm thinking about it. I watched episode 1 like 4 days ago, but that wasn't in this episode. I'm saying for later. But let's stick to this episode. Okay, so this has we got Rosalita too. I didn't even mention her. Rosalita, I don't know. I'm weird with Rosalita. Like, sometimes I feel like she's really hot, and then other times I'm not that into her. I don't know. It's like the way she would like turn her head, and like, I don't know. It was bizarre. But man, she has a killer body, and she never wears bras, and she wears these like tight shirts, and it's pretty funny. But if you look on IMDb and you pull this series up, like I think it's the first picture you see as like a production still, is Rosalita in a white wet t-shirt, and her nipples are just poking, like just shining through. And it's funny, I'm like, damn, are you even allowed to put that on IMDb? And in the show too, I was like, wow, it is like, she might as well not be wearing anything. It was that obvious, like you could just see her body outright through the wet t-shirt. And I was like, okay, they can just show that on regular TV, I guess. Like, as long as there's like a white t-shirt in between, it doesn't matter. I personally don't care. regardless. But I just thought that was really interesting. Like, oh, okay. But yeah, her body is killer. Man, the production value on this show, while not terrible, it had a lot of negatives going for it. And what is one of those things is that everything's sped up, like car chases or when cars are shown driving or certain things. It's always that like sped up film. Oh, it's dreadful. And then another thing is like production goofs, like boom mics, cameramen in reflection, stuff like that. There was gaps all over the place like that, and I was like, oh god, guys, you rushing through this. Also has, obviously was cut early because, man, it is very clear that that was not intentionally their season finale, and sure as shit not their series finale. So the last episode doesn't even feature Burt Gummer. It's just a non-episode. It's fine because I liked every episode, but it's not a big episode. It's not like some big hoorah, finished thing. But so that is one big lackluster part of this. But I enjoyed everything, and as I said, it kind of turns into the X-Files in a few episodes. So, all right. So this first episode is just kind of introducing us to everybody. We get to meet Dean Norris's character, and as I said, he's overseeing to make sure that El Blanco is untouched. I don't know why anyone would live there, but it is what it is. And in Jodie's store, which I never had felt like it was confirmed. Maybe it was, and I just missed it in part 3. But Walter is her uncle. I didn't want to assume, because they're both Asian, that she was related to him. I didn't want it to seem like I was being racist or something, but it is confirmed. And then Tyler comes in and he starts this like Jeep tour thing, and the insurance on that would be so outlandish. There's no way. I mean, maybe if it was in a third world country, but in America to have a Jeep tour like that, forget it, man. The insurance costs would be out of control. And Melvin is just a total slimeball in this, which is kind of interesting since he's a character from the first movie, and in the first movie he was just a kid. He was a little shit, and that little shit probably would have grown up to be this guy. So overall, I mean, it's just kind of an introduction episode. El Blanco shows up a little bit, like Tyler comes to town. He gets his car eaten right up off the bat. He has like this really nice car that's pulled under the ground, and then he comes into town with Burr, and they get to know each other. And Melvin's a little shit, and they're kind of helping each other out. Overall, it's just an introduction episode, and I dug it. I liked it, but not a ton to talk about. We'll talk about more in the next episode. I got a lot to review here, so let's get to it.